accept that in the business of entertainment there are an awful lot of unreliable people, sharks, drunks and pillocks?
I agree.
Now, because of that very large preponderance of those creatures, which may or may not include you or I, but because of the very large preponderance, people are not prepared to trust us in the same way as they would trust some guy that's bringing home a little brown envelope once a week to his dear wife.
True.
And that's the reality. If you don't like it, get a proper job.
Oh, what go to that? No way.
Quite.
No way.
What do you do for an entertainer?
I'm not telling you.
No. Goodbye. Harry Margaret.
Good morning, Alan. I am the executor of the will for my mother, who is critically ill at the moment. Now, I have a copy of the will, and the original will is with a solicitor in another part of the country. When she passes away, do I have to go over and get that copy, or what? I mean, there's only an estate of £500, which really is only enough to bury her with. Do I have to have a solicitor and everything?
The answer to your question is no. You can demand that the solicitor hands the will to you and does nothing else.
I can do that by post, can I?
You can do it by post, yes.
Yeah.
It may well be that the solicitor will want proof of who you are, but he is required to give you, the executor, the will. Now, there may be a fee for that. It shouldn't be a massive amount of money. Most solicitors wouldn't bother, but it may well be that when the will was originally drafted, the solicitor presumably did that. So the fee was paid for the drafting and, I might suggest to you, the safekeeping of the will. Now, the solicitor's job is to pass that will to the executor.
I see.
Now, it is the executor's job to distribute the property according to the will and law. You must get it right legally as well, of course. So, providing the will is valid and everything, you can do all the work yourself. Apply for probate, letters of administration, whatever it is you require. You can do all that yourself. You're not required to use the services of a solicitor. However, if anything goes wrong in the distribution of that money, you, as the executor, become legally liable. So that is quite important.
There's very little can go, and there's only really enough to, you know what costs of funerals are.
I know what the costs of funerals are indeed, but you do have to obey the legality of it all.
See, I'm the sole beneficiary.
That's fine. In that case, it sounds very simple. But Margaret,
sorry.
If you are going to execute the will, and you are the sole beneficiary, I suggest it would be quite simple. But it would be a reasonable investment to buy yourself a witch book on wills and probate. Okay, it costs you about £2.50.
Can I just ask you something else regarding the same thing? My mother now lives in the area where I live. I mean, she didn't before, but she does now. She put a desire in a will about where she wanted her ashes scattering. Do I have to fulfil that legally?
The answer is...
It doesn't say she insists, it just says that she would desire.
Well, if it's a desire, of course, it's just a desire. It's not part and parcel of the will. It's, in other words, it's not conditional. She's not saying, our lass can't have the brass if she doesn't scatter me where I want to be scattered.
And of course... do it.
Quite. But of course, the other practicalities of it as well. I mean, if she wants them scattering over, over the lawn at the White House, then of course, she's not going to get it. So there are certain limitations, I always wanted mine to be ground up into itching powder and put down Mrs. Thatcher's front, which I thought would be a great idea, sitting there in the house, scratching, Allan Beswick. But I mean, you just, it's unlikely to actually be implemented. So,
I'm putting my husband in an egg timer to make him work for a living.
Make a nice change, wouldn't it?
Thanks for your help. I know it sounds awful talking about it now, but I mean...
No, it doesn't. Margaret, before you go any further, let me say for everybody's sake, what we British have done is we've made it so that we are actually ashamed of the fact that some of us are going to die.
It's the one certainty in life.
It's the only certainty. So what you've got to do is come to terms with the fact you're going to die and do your utmost to sort it out. Because when you're gone, I think whatever your religion, when you're gone, to all intents and purposes, that's it. As far as I'm concerned, that's it, period. But there are some people that go on to God and all the rest of it. But when you're dead, finito.
Yeah.
And the best you can do for the living is sort it out. Your mum's done that.
This was it with my father. It was my father, actually, because he always used to say, even though you've no money, you should put everything down in writing with a solicitor.
Dead right.
And that way, there's no arguments, there's no sort of, everybody knows what they want you to do.
Well, it isn't essential to use a solicitor, but it's quite cheap for a fairly straightforward will. Your mum won't have paid more than a tenner for the administration of that will, or for the drafting and drawing up of that will. She'd have paid no more than
£15.
10, 15 quid, yeah. Well, it's now for peace of mind it creates.
No, it isn't. I agree with you.
So the answer is, Margaret, if the solicitor says, well, how do we know it's you, he might require you to go to a commissioner for oaths in this area and swear an oath.
Yes.
It's called an affidavit.
Yeah.
Saying that you are who you are, and he is then legally obliged to release that will to you. But I don't think you'll have any trouble, to be honest.
Thank you for your help.
All right, love.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I wish you luck. Bye-bye. And by the way, Margaret... Oh, she's gone. Never mind. I should have asked her, has she made a will? Have you made a will? Listen to this programme right now. Have you made a will? You should have done. If you haven't, all hell can let loose when you snuff it, and it ain't worth the hassle. Having said that, I might have to change mine. But do please, make a will. You don't necessarily need a solicitor. You can get these will forms from W.H. Smith and other such stationers for a few bob. I think about 45 pence or something. You need to get them witnessed by two people who are not going to be beneficiaries from the will. That's one of the rules. You're not allowed to benefit from a will if you're a witness. But the easiest way is to go into a solicitor's office. You can even get legal aid for the drafting of a will. You can get the green form scheme. But a simple will, like I'm leaving it all to our Ethelbert, shouldn't cost you more than 15 quid. So go to a solicitor, get yourself a will drawn up. It really is as simple as that. And it's a great help to your relatives when you're gone. I know I don't often advertise the services of solicitors, but even solicitors can't be all bad, can they?
A far, far better furniture store. Edmondson's of Blackburn, a far, far better furniture store. For lounge, dining room and bedroom furniture, for famous names in quality carpets, for all home furnishings. Edmondson's offers choice. Edmondson's gives first-class service, and Edmondson's guarantees value for money. All round a far, far better furniture store at Darwin Street, Blackburn. A far, far better furniture store, Edmondson's.
Blinking egg, Dave. Why don't you get a decent radio to match this flash car?
Well, that one cost an arm and a leg, but it's never been much good.
You need to contact West Horton Car Radio, mate. They've got superb systems by Blaupunkt and Panasonic. Hey, and they've got the Blaupunkt D-Stock range at less than half the normal price. None of this distortion like with one of them.
Blaupunkt what?
Blaupunkt. It's German, isn't it? I thought you were supposed to be brainy. Hey, you can also get electric windows, vehicle alarms and car phones fitted by West Horton Car Radio.
Oh, find the right station with West Horton Car Radio, Church Street, West Horton. Phone West Horton 814-229 before you crack up.
If you thought that up till now only little birdies go cheap, you'd be wrong. Just listen to this wunderbar sound from the Nissen family. What a beautiful collection, from the little cherry to the daddy of them all, the bluebird. Now they are all going cheap because you can have them with £99 down and the 0% finance. That's right, no interest to pay at all. If you'd like to see this Nissen family in their natural habitat, then pop along to Birkdale Garage Southport or telephone Southport 68515. But hurry, for they are taking off pretty fast.
Is he meant to be a German? I can't work it out. Howdy, Bob.
Hello, Alan. I'd like to mention something I heard on the news this afternoon. It's about Northern Ireland. One of the politicians there is trying to ban the firing of plastic bullets. Well, I agree with him, but I think they should be firing live bullets. What do you think about that?
Well, in certain circumstances, they are firing live bullets. But what circumstances would you like to see the police and forces in Northern Ireland firing live ammunition?
Well, the actual, how it was brought up, people that were rioting.
Just tell me what circumstances you'd like to see the live ammunition used.
In riots. Hooligans firing at the police and the forces.
Firing what at the police?
Missiles, petrol bombs.
What do you mean by missiles? Petrol bombs?
Rocks, shootings. Or whatever, yeah.
So, half a dozen youths at the end of the street get together and decide to chuck bricks at a passing police car. You believe the police car is allowed, or you would like the police car to be allowed to open fire on them?
Yes, I do.
I hope you never get your way.
Okay, yeah.
All that will do will be create child martyrs. And as soon as you create child martyrs, there'll be policemen waking up with a bullet in their forehead all over the place. But perhaps it's police you're against.
Isn't it?
I'm sorry?
It's happening now all the time.
You've seen nothing yet, pal. You ain't seen nothing yet. We used live ammunition in Aden, trying to keep that. Who's got it now?
Yeah, a friend of mine was...
We used live ammunition in Palestine. Who's got it now?
Yeah, that's true.
All over the world, where they've said, OK, we're the imposters, we're going to keep it down here, pal, and we're going to shoot you through the brain. What happens? Pull out not long later.
Yeah. OK, just my view, Alan, that's all.
Sorry?
I say it was just my view.
Is it still your view, despite the fact that we've got no stuff in every time we've done it?
Yeah.
Is it or isn't it?
Oh, no.
No, it's not. So your view's been changed.
I'm sorry?
So your view's been changed.
So.
What do you mean, so? It either has or it hasn't.
Well, they haven't, but, you know...
Well, they either have or they haven't. You can't have been and not be.
In certain circumstances, I think that, you know, live ammunition...
When the police come under fire, Bob, they have the right to use live ammunition and use live ammunition.
Yes, but there's a guy...
They even shoot cars where they think a shot has been passed or been fired. They shoot cars that go past. Now, what I'm asking you is, because you said missile throwing. Now, then you said stone throwing, and I asked you whether they should... I asked you, yes, I accept that, but I wanted to define which missiles, because of course missiles, President Reagan's got loads of them. We didn't mean those, did we?
No,
so we defined it as stones, and I put a scenario to you, and in that scenario, I said thus: do you think the police should be able to open fire on half a dozen youths who've decided to throw stones at a police car? Your answer was yes. After the fact that I explained where weaponry would merely cause an Aden or a Palestine type situation, you said, oh, well, I don't know. Let me ask you the question again. Given the fact that where we've used weapons in the past, we seem to have lost, do you think in the scenario I gave you, the police should have the right to open fire?
Not on that, no.
Not on that. So your view has been changed.
It has, yeah.
It was worth coming to work tonight. Good night. How do Dave?
Good. Alan?
Yes?
What will to do for a signpost falling on my head?
For a what on your head?
A signpost. One of these Preston property posts.
You want one of them on your head?
No, won't fall on my head.
It fell on your head?
Yeah, what will to do about it?
Well, I suggest you rub it with butter. How do Dave? No, that was Dave. How do Tony?
Hey, hello, Alan.
Hey, Tony, hello.
I'd like to talk about crossed lines.
Go on.
You phoned someone up. Tonight I phoned my girlfriend up, and I got these two girls talking, like, and this isn't a joke, it sounds a bit like a joke, doesn't it? But it's not. I got these two girls talking, so I started, oh, alright, like that, like, and the bottles went a bit, so they said, oh, let's put the phone down, so they put the phone down. So I stayed on the line, and then one of the girls tried to phone the other one back, like, and she couldn't, because I was on the line, like, so this one picks the phone up, and goes to phone the other one, and I was there, like, and I went, oh, alright, and we got, me and my golden charisma, like, we started getting to talk about you, like. So I said, do you listen to Allan Beswick? She said, yeah. And I said, no, yeah, so do I. Like, but I'll phone him up and see if you're listening tonight. Good, though, isn't it, Al?
I must admit that I've been used in many conversations of late. I don't think I've ever been used, until now, as part of a chat-up procedure. Never mind, Tony. It doesn't matter how you get your rocks off, as long as you get them off. Ta-da!
Could I just make this little point on dogs?
On dogs?
I think all dogs should be killed.
All dogs should be killed?
Yeah, well...
Blind people should grope their way about alone?
No, I don't mean... I was going to say that. Or, you know, like the way people have got dogs for protection in their houses and all that. The ones, you know, where you get fellas who are extending the willies with dogs, who are walking around with a great big dog going, whoa, get him.
I've never actually seen a dog hanging out of a zip. Certainly not head first, anyway, but never mind.
That's what it's for, though, isn't it? And I also...
Well, you may see it that way, Tony. It's an extraordinary view. I've seen it done with a Ford Capri, but I've never seen it done with an Alsatian.
Yeah,
never mind.
That's what I mean. I think it's used in the same context, isn't it? You know, with a big dog and the big car and all that, like.
I don't know anyone that uses a dog as a phallic symbol. When I've used a phallic with 4 legs. Anyway, it's very nice. I mean, I've seen him with 4 feet, but only once. And then it was on a donkey. Right, ta-da!
Yeah.
How do Jamie?
Hi, Alan.
Yes, I am.
You seem to hate students, and art students in particular.
Hate? I don't hate them. I just think they're an abomination. I think they waste a breath, art students. What do you want them for?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I think it's important that students, you know, they should study art and design at university.
They should do what?
Should study art and design at university.
Why? They're picking out girls a toss whether they can paint pictures of naked women or trees.
Can I just speak, please?
Do you mean may you?
May you? May I?
May. You may.
Right. Hey, look around you.
I've looked around me.
All that is designed.
Yes, I know it is.
So what would you do without?
Well, first of all, the desk I'm sat at, which is an electronic keyboard, if you like, was designed by an electronics person. It wasn't designed by any art student. The decor, I suppose, was designed by an art student, but quite honestly, we could have managed on the own.
The vast majority of things are designed.
Of course they're designed.
Students.
They're not designed by art students.
They are.
They're not designed by art students at all. Don't talk utter crap.
Who are these designed
People
by?
that learn about...
Who are they designed by, then?
Well, they're not designed by students, for a start.
You don't know who they're designed by. They're designed by art students.
Excuse me. How many art students do you know make their living designing things?
A lot.
A lot?
Yeah.
A lot. Well, they don't need grants off us, then.
Things, okay.
They don't need grants off us.
Can I take a different line of view?
Well, would you like to substantiate the one you've got? You said most of the things around me are designed by art students. I'm sure you meant art graduates, but what you said was art students. None of the things around me were designed by art students.
Yeah, and
none of them.
You don't get art graduates.
Let us just deal with what you said. Let us just deal with what you said, fellow. You said art students. I told you no, and you insisted yes. Well, you're wrong.
Sorry.
Now let us progress and look at what we get from our art students. I accept that art students sometimes go into industry. Very rarely, but sometimes they do.
No.
The majority of art
majority
students, the vast majority of art students end up sat on their arses.
No.
Doing nothing. I shared a flat with a guy who eventually went on to be an art student, and after he'd finished being an art student, he went back to doing what he was good at, and that was being a psychiatric nurse.
Yeah, one student out of thousands.
Well,
right, anyway.
I just tell you that information willy-nilly. The truth is that the large proportion, the majority, I suggest to you, of art students do not make their living with their degree.
Well, we're not going to get anywhere on that argument,
Good,
right?
well, we'll go then. How do Gaz? That was Gaz. Yeah, could smell it. How do Stan?
Hello, it's me again. I've turned my radio off now.
Good. How do Harry? Barry, sorry.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, Barry.
My name's Bederoy.
Your name's what?
Bederoy.
Baroy?
Berry Toe.
Oh, is it? Well, we don't use surnames. How do... Who? Carl.
Hello, I'd like to talk about evolution. I mean, why the hell should we
Bring me back when you know what you want to talk about. Until then, keep your gob shut. On line 7, we have somebody called Peter.
Alan, may I be allowed to do you a small little favour, as you've done me some favours by enjoying listening to you?
Go on.
When you do the North Pier Blackpool, please don't take an umbrella, because you'll lose it. If it's a rainy day...
I haven't got an umbrella.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, well, that's great, because you'd get blown over, because it is horrendous.
I have been on the North Pier, you know. I once jumped off the North Pier.
I didn't know that.
In August last year.
Really?
I jumped into the sea off the North Pier for charity. Not just me, there's about 50 of us, but I went on my own, dressed as a bird.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have an anti-tetanus injection after going in the water?
Oh, God, you don't need it. It's good sea in Blackpool, I'm telling you.
Is it?
Smart as
Can I ask you, I know you don't answer questions, but some way I'd like to ask you a question. How do we know what mood you're in on the evening to see if you're more aggressive or nice aggressive or semi-aggressive?
Do you mean at the Beswick at Large?
No, on the radio. Because sometimes, I mean, I listen to you every night. I'm totally addicted to you now. But I listen to you, and sometimes I can get so angry because you're so aggressive, and sometimes you turn so nice that I think, this is not the Allan Beswick.
Well, I'm sorry, Peter. I don't know how you know, because I'm buggered if I know how I know. I don't know. I just talk to him. I don't care. Anyway, good to talk to you again.
Good night.
Ta-ra. How do Eric?
This is Derek.
Derek.
It's Derek from Mr. and Mrs. program here. Now then, don't be nervous, Alan.
I'm not.
It's only a game.
I know.
Now, your wife's just come out of the cubicle, and she's done very well. And you're halfway there to the jackpot, which is 3,000 lovely, beautiful pounds. Now then, Alan, if your mother-in-law came along unexpectedly, would you, 1, pelt her with Rice Krispies, beat her to death with a goblin's tease maze, or pour a basket full of vipers over her head?
Neither of those things.
Neither.
None of those things, no.
Go on to the
We
next.
don't have Rice Krispies, we haven't got a Goblin tea spade, and where can you get a Viper this time of the morning? Getting a Vincream Viper is no easy.
Okay then. Picture yourself on holiday in the Costa Brava.
Costa Brava, smart.
And you've forgotten the sun cream.
Oh, why?
Would you ask your wife to stand in front of you and be in the shade of her skirt? Or would you dangle half a coconut from your nose? Or would you take off your trousers and put them over your head?
I don't use sun cream.
Okay, we'll go on to the next one.
Go on
You're
then,
doing
I'm on for the
very well.
£3,000 here, how are you going to send it?
You're doing very well.
Yes, I know.
Now then, if you were to get the answer to this question wrong, would your wife smash you in the teeth with the croquet mallet, shoot herself, or call you a fat bastard? Shoot you in the croquet mallet?
I don't think she'd call me that last thing because she knows me dad. And we don't play croquet.
No.
And what was the other thing? Shoot herself.
Shoot.
No, she wouldn't do that.
All night long, all night. It's the place to come where shopping can be found. The Newmarket Waterloo Road.
If you want to shop for the real bargains, you'll be well advised to visit the Newmarket and M2 Market on Waterloo Road, Blackpool. They're over the road from one another, which makes shopping for bargains all the more convenient. But beware of imitations. When you've found the Newmarket, you've found the M2 Market, and vice versa. Shop at the Newmarket and M2 Market, opposite each other on Waterloo Road, Blackpool. They're the original, and they're still the best.
It's the place to come where shopping can be found. The Newmarket Waterloo Road.
All white taxis are at your service 24 hours a day. Just call Southport 37777 for a fast, reliable response. Popping into town today? Why worry about the problems of parking? All white taxis can solve your problem at a very reasonable cost. Or if you're having a night out, make sure you enjoy it to the full. Just book all white taxis. Book now on Southport 37777.
One of my adverts doesn't work again. Hang on.
How would you like to hear your very own short story broadcast on Red Rose Radio and win a handsome prize? In association with Lancashire Libraries and Sweetens Bookshops, we're organising a short story contest in 3 sections: adults over 16, teenagers 12 to 16, and children under 12. The stories will be assessed by a panel of judges, and the winning entries in each section will be broadcast in a special programme in the summer. We want stories of 1,000 words or less, and if you want your manuscript back, please enclose a stamped addressed envelope. The contest closes on May the 20th and is open to anyone in the Northwest. Send your entries to Short Story Contest, Red Rose Radio, P.O. Box 301 Preston. Short Story Contest, Red Rose Radio, P.O. Box 301 Preston.
That it? Good grief. How do Stuart?
Hello, Alan. I'd like to talk about the Roman Catholic Church and contraception, please.
Go ahead.
Well, quickly, I'd just like to refer to 2 forms of contraception. There's the coil, which stops the egg attaching itself from the womb, which is a form of contraception by distance, which is the thickness of the coil from a woman's womb. There's a sheath, which stops the sperm entering a woman's vagina. Now, again, it's contraception, but again, it's by distance, which is the thickness of the contraception.
Go on, Stuart. Get to your point.
Stops the sperm going
Get to your point, Stuart.
Sorry, I won't. Anyway, by the same token, to me, a priest performs contraception to the same degree, which is by distance. Now, in his way, he performs it by distance with not coming into contact with women. On the one hand, you've got contraception.
I'm sorry, Stuart, I, for the life of me, cannot see what point it is you're working towards.
No, I'm saying...
But as far as I'm concerned, you're talking a lot of bunkum. The word distance is irrelevant.
I'm talking about the Roman Catholic Church being
No, you're not.
critical over...
No, you're not. Not by using the word distance, you're not. The word distance is irrelevant. It is absolute nonsense. In actual fact, it is not caused by distance at all.
Well, there could have been one or two other things that you could
Well, first of all, you obviously do not...
thing-
You, first of all, Stuart, do not know how a coil operates. You said it was operating by distance, which is actually wrong. It is operating by irritation. So I suggest you get your medical facts correct first. Don't be sorry, just be quiet. Hello, Jean.
Hello, Alan. I'd like to speak about something you said earlier on to a gentleman who phoned up about the insurance for entertainers. You said that entertainers tend to die more often. Are these
Just
the
the ones.
magicians?
These are the magicians, yes.
Do they die more often?
Yes.
I was just confused about this fact. How often do the entertainers tend to die?
Oh, 2 or 3 times.
Oh, grand result.
Smart. Well done, G.
Thanks, Alan.
Get off
Bye.
here. Brilliant. How do Peter? Oh, he's gone. Never mind. How do Muriel?
I'm here.
Hello.
That was a load of rubbish.
I thought it was all right, that. Go on.
I'm referring back to about an hour and a half, probably. A chap who had a conversation with you about non-benefits of university education.
Go on.
Have you been to university?
I never answer questions about my private life.
No. Well, if you didn't go to university, I've just got...
Well, I haven't answered the question.
who did.
Muriel, I haven't answered the question as to whether I did or did not. I don't answer questions like
No,
that.
I realise that now. I was wrong in saying that.
It doesn't matter, they just don't answer them. Go on.
No, but my sons did, and they both got honours degrees.
In what?
They're very intelligent.
In what?
Kind and good.
In what?
Well, one got in engineering.
Yes.
And the other got in arts and crafts things.
Arts and crafts things?
Yes.
Well, what?
And
What was his degree in?
honours degree in engineering.
Yes, we heard that one. What was the other one?
The other one was in art,
Go on.
but he got an honours degree.
Well, I don't care whether it was honours or not.
Yeah, I know, but it's a bit different, isn't it?
Well, it's no different to any other honours degree, but go on.
Mm-hmm. And they're both very intelligent and very kind and good fun.
Well, they didn't become kind and good fun because they went to university. Are you going to make some point eventually, Muriel?
Yeah, I am.
Excellent. Well, let us hear it.
Generalise. I wonder...
I'm not generalising. You tell me they are good fun. Fine, I'm happy for you, love, but that's got damn all to do with the fact that they went to university.
Do you think so?
Well, were they not good fun before they went to university?
They were.
Oh, well, so university didn't make them good fun, did it?
Possibly not.
What do you mean, possibly not? It can't be. They were already good fun when they went, you said. Were they intelligent when they went to university?
Very.
So it didn't make them any more intelligent. So we've got that out of the way. Now it made one of them an engineer, and it gave the other one an arts degree. Fine.
Yes.
What point are you making?
I'm just wishing you wouldn't generalise, and you must have met...
Oh, Muriel, first of all, I do not...
Graduate.
I am not generalising. As far as I'm concerned, the majority of arts students are a waste of space. And they're a waste of money.
Oh, mine's not.
Well, yours may well not be. I've never met a mother yet who thought hers was, but the reality is...
I'm not that sort of mother.
Well, you do sound like one, Muriel, but the fact still remains that as far as I'm concerned, arts colleges are a waste of time, money and space.
Oh, what a shame.
It's not a shame at all. We don't need the damn things.
Oh, you'd be surprised, Alan.
I wouldn't be at all surprised. I'd be absolutely riveted in me boots if you could convince me that we needed arts students.
Oh, I'll get together with you one of these days.
Only on this programme, Muriel. How do, Paul?
All right, Alan. I'd like some advice if I could.
Yeah?
I was in a club on Saturday night and it'd been painted and I sat on the bench and I got all paint on my clothes and I was wondering if I could claim the money off the club.
You can try. How do, Andrew? Sandra, sorry.
Hi, Alan.
Yes?
I apologise if I sounded nasty before. It was unintentional. It was only in a light-hearted sense.
Do you mean when you asked me if you could do me a favour?
No.
Oh, well, I don't know when you mean then.
Oh, when I was going on my opinion about you being arrogant and all that.
Oh, we don't worry about
Well, I wanted
that.
to add that you're highly intelligent.
Oh, rubbish. How do, Tony?
Hello, you are arrogant. All I can say to you, Alan, is that I'm going to meet you on Skybridge Hotel tomorrow. I think we'll have a much better conversation then.
I'll tell you what,
And
Tony.
good night, dear sunshine.
Well, don't say good night yet, Tony.
You are
Don't say
you're
good
about
night.
as arrogant as I am.
Well, I know I'm as arrogant as you, but I'll be as lonely as you if you got Scarswick Hotel tomorrow night. I'm not there till Wednesday. I'm going till Wednesday. Wednesday I'm going.
I am sorry.
Don't be sorry, I just didn't want you to, you know,
I just
be
didn't
sat
want to
there
get drunk,
feeling
but I
sorry
mean,
for
it
yourself.
was. You know, unemployment's a favourite subject of mine.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I hope you get some. How do, Paul?
Hello, Alan. Can you tell me, or do you know if you can claim tax back from a job that you had 5 years ago?
No, I shouldn't think so.
Okay, thanks a lot.
It's all right. How do, Jimmy?
Hello, Alan. I'd just like to talk about commercials, actually. So I was ringing up before and talking about commercials. I wondered if you said that REM.
24 hours a day, Red Rose Radio.
Use a Red Rose Rambler Lancashire Travel Pass this spring and you could come home with a fantastic microwave oven. Our great spring competition is so easy. Just answer 3 simple questions, tell us where you've been with your Lancashire Bus or Bus Rail Pass, and one of 3 fabulous ovens from the Preston Microwave Centre could be yours. Entry forms from bus stations or post offices and on selected Lancashire Bus Pass tickets. Play the Preston Microwave Centre competition with Lancashire Bus and Bus Rail Passes now.
It's the place to come, where shopping can be found. The Newmarket Waterloo Road.
If you want to shop for the real bargains, you'll be well advised to visit the Newmarket and M2 Market on Waterloo Road, Blackpool. They're over the road from one another, which makes shopping for bargains all the more convenient. But beware of imitations. When you've found the Newmarket, you've found the M2 Market, and vice versa. Shop at the Newmarket and M2 Market, opposite each other on Waterloo Road, Blackpool. They're the original, and they're still the best.
It's the place to come, where shopping can be found. The Newmarket Waterloo Road.
Attention all decision makers, sales directors, sales managers and buyers. You cannot afford to miss the Lancashire Industry and Commerce Business to Business exhibition at the Exhibition Centre, Norbreck Castle Hotel in Blackpool. This extravaganza on a wide cross-section of industry takes place on the 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th of April, with over 200 companies represented. It's the Northwest's leading industrial event. So make a date in your diary for the Lancashire Industry and Commerce Business to Business exhibition at the Norbreck Castle Exhibition Centre, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th of April.
I'll do, Eddie.
Oh, Alan, I think I can help out the guy who was ringing up about Catholic birth control.
Yeah.
It may not be generally known in this country. In fact, I wasn't aware until I went to Spain some years ago, and it was a Catholic girl there who told me that there was, in actual fact, a fully approved Catholic contraceptive pill. Now, as I say, I didn't know anything about this.
Go on, tell us about it.
It's an aspirin. That's all it is. It is, and you don't you know about it at all? It's an aspirin. It's held tightly between the knees.
That's it. Thank you very much, Eddie. Ta-ra. I'll do Andy.
Alright, Tom.
Yep.
I was down in a nightclub the other day, and I picked this girl up. And
You did what?
I picked a girl up, you know.
You made friends with a girl?
Yeah, that's right.
Ah, I see.
And I took her home, and she had blonde hair. And I said, you know, after a bit, I said, why is your hair on top blonde?
Say goodnight, Andy. We don't need jokes like that on this programme. How do, Paul?
Hello, Alan? Alan?
Yeah.
Hello there, you got Paul here, Alan.
I know, I want to know what he wants.
You got Paul from Rochdale.
Goodbye, we don't know where they're from. I'll do to another Paul.
Allan Beswick on Red Rose. What's he eat? No one knows. But I know he likes custard. That's why he's a fat.
I'll do Jean.
Hello, Alan. First of all, can I say 2 things, please? First of all, I think I agree with you about students.
And your other one?
Them hang around about...
Your other point?
Pardon?
Your other point?
Another point is about making a will.
Go on.
How can you make a will? You're a married woman, right? I'm a married woman, rather. And everything is in your husband's name.
You can still make a will.
Well, what have I got to leave?
Well, first of all, you've got quite a lot to leave. You've got the equity in the property to leave. That's got
But
you
I don't know
flummoxed.
what property I've got, do I?
Well, okay, you don't know what property you've got, but that'll be for the people afterwards to sort out. But you will still have some property. For example, have you any jewellery?
Yeah.
Well, you've got some jewellery.
Yeah.
Whose is that?
Well, mine.
If you and your husband, and I'm not suggesting you do or will, but if you and your husband divorced, would he put you out on the street?
No, I don't think so.
Would he be legally able to put you out on the street?
Legally, I suppose you would, yeah.
No, he wouldn't. You have an interest in the house. The house is partly yours, even though your name's not on the mortgage deeds. The house is partly yours.
Really?
Of course it is.
And if it's a business concerned as well?
If it's a business concern and you're a partner in that business, then of course there's all that as well.
I see.
So you do need a will, indeed, in just
So
on...
if I was to go to a solicitor and say I want to make a will,
Yes.
and I have 3 sons, whatever I have when I'm departed equally divided between 3.
Absolutely. I would suggest that you discuss it with the solicitor rather than just give him an instruction to do that. Because, of course, I presume, and it is only a presumption, you may well not even want to comment, and feel free not to, but you may well want to say that if your husband survives you, you want everything...
Yeah.
Everything you hold jointly to go to him, and the things such as your jewellery to be dealt with accordingly. So there are little things like that. But of course you say you have nothing. Imagine the awful situation, Jean, if your husband died tomorrow, and then 3 days later you died. Where would all the property go? Because you'd be the sole owner.
I see.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you need a will. I cannot stress strongly enough how important it is to make a
I
will.
have heard this before, and
And you've ignored it.
well, not ignored it. No, I've been thinking about
You've done damn all about it. That's ignoring it, love. You can think all day. You need a will, not a thought. Hey, make an appointment with a solicitor in the next couple of days. Bimble along there. Explain to him or her what it is you want to do, and then get yourself a will made.
I see.
All right, love.
Thanks very much, Alan.
Well worth it.
Good night,
I'm
God
telling you,
bless.
the peace of mind you will get from it is worth the 15, 20 quid.
That's true. Good night.
All right, love. How do Jeremy?
Hello, Alan. How long does a £5 deal last you?
How long does a
£5 deal last you?
Depends on the deal. I'm not asking any more. How do Eric?
Hello, I'd like to talk about hypothermia and the old people.
Go on then.
Well, all this not being able to pay the bills and electric bills and gas bills.
Yes.
He said last war, Winston Churchill.
Yes.
Modelled what they called a thermal suit, which was called a siren suit.
Yes.
And it was because of the shortage of fuel, etc. during the war. You couldn't get coal and that. I mean, in those days, there wasn't much...
You couldn't get coal. That'll do for us. Yes, Eric.
And I thought it would be a good idea if they could give these old people these thermal suits or sell them to them to keep themselves warm in the winter.
Well, it is available for any senior citizen, or indeed any individual, to go out and buy what is known as a survival bag,
Yeah.
which is the kind of thing one carries with oneself on long hikes through the moors. And of course that survival bag will help keep you warm. It won't keep you entirely warm, but it does help to keep you warm.
Yeah, well, I've thought about like the electric people who collect all this money
Yes.
to buy thermal suits with it, or
But of course that would defeat the whole object. They want you to use electricity.
I see, yeah, of course, yeah.
All right, Eric.
Okay, thanks.
Well, this wonderful vision of them jumping in their siren suit with that hot water bottle. Never mind. How do Tim?
Hello, Alan. I was just thinking, I think all religious education should be banned. All religious teaching should be banned from schools.
Why?
Well, I'm all for the Brotherhood of Man. And I don't care whether they're teaching Muslim, Jewish, Protestant, Catholic religions. I think it should be banned because I think it helps to create separation of mankind. And I think history proves that.
Would you prefer that we taught people about the various different religions,
Yes,
or that we just ignore them altogether?
No, they could be teachers as a subject, but I think a subject which should replace that. You see, you've got to be very careful of taking a subject away, because people's mind are left blank, and then they go all haywire. I think what was it?
So what you're against, Tim, is the indoctrination into a particular brand of religion, but you wouldn't mind religion as a subject being taught, providing it was taught academically, rather than this is God's law, you will believe it.
Yeah, in the past, right, religion has done a lot of good. Church schools were, educating the poor when there was no schools, but we've gone past all them days, and I will give them the due in one way, but there's something missing as well. Social studies. You talk to a lot of younger people today about different things. They know absolutely nothing at all, on the ground of social studies.
Well, the great problem is, Tim, who taught you social studies at school?
Well, I wasn't. I was almost ignorant when I left school. I mean, I'm a self-taught man. By reading magazines, Time magazine, listening to people like you.
So why can the pupils of today not learn via that process?
Because there is that missing, I think, out of schools, social studies.
But what do you advocate? A teacher starts to teach his or her pupils social studies. Now, by that, we've got to look at politics and the like, have we not?
Yes, it's true.
Now, it's very difficult for any teacher to teach politics without actually having their own political view come through in what they're teaching.
Well, it might be that. Well, that might be the lack because the teachers are not well taught themselves how to deal with children. But I'm quite sure I was never a teacher myself, but I'm quite sure if I was put in a group of children, I was talking about social studies, and it would depend on the age group of the child, of course. I wouldn't be qualified to teach people of a more older age, but going to the very base of it, young people, I mean, I could think up a lot of things about why
Tim,
we've got the police and...
Tim, allow me to tell you that the most important age to teach anybody is before the age of 7.
Well,
and so you're suggesting that you need less qualifications to teach somebody up to the age of 7 than you do after that age. Allow me to tell you that it ought to be the other way round. It is the Jesuits, sorry to bring religion into it, but it was the Jesuits that said, give me a boy for the first 7 years and I'll give you the man. And they're right.
And I agree with that. And what I was really talking about is that I don't have a great lot of education from school itself. So, of course, as you come to teach older people and they've been educated, it might be more harder to put my point over.
But Tim, do you think it is... I appreciate that it would be difficult to teach in the specific subjects, but surely social service, social sciences, the social democracy of our country, you say you could teach that up to the age of 7?
I could put over to younger people.
Well, let me ask you a question.
What their aim should be in life.
Well, you said, Tim, that you'd be able to teach them why we have a police force. Well, tell me why they have a police force.
I said I'd teach them why. Well,
that was one of the examples you gave.
Well,
tell me why we have a police force.
Well, we have a police force because there is the law of the land, and policemen have to help to keep the law of the land.
Now then, there are questions that I would want to put to that, for someone as experienced as yourself, and that question is, are the police supporting good law and bad law, or all law?
Good law and bad law? Well, a proper policeman will support good law.
No, not bad law?
Well, I hope you mean the law of the land, laws which have been made for people.
I only mean the laws of the land. We're only talking about the laws of the land. You said the policeman will support good laws of the land. Will he support bad laws of the land?
Well, I personally know some policemen who
would you just like to answer the question?
Yes.
Would the police force...
Some would, yes.
They would support the bad law of the land?
There are bad policemen.
No, never mind good policemen, bad policemen. We don't want to get into that. You think that the police, then, are there to implement the laws of the land that they think are good laws?
Not what they think, it's what's been, been legislated.
Well, all law has been legislated on, or is common law, so surely you're saying to me, when I said to you, do the police support good law and bad law, you should have said, there is no bad law. It has all been passed by Parliament.
Alan, you know a bit more than me. I mean, I'll agree that, I've heard you speak. I wish I could catch you out all this time.
Tim, we have a very, very simple question here, and you aren't able to answer it, and you tell me you'd be prepared to teach children.
I've answered your question.
You haven't. I'll ask it you again.
All right, there's no such thing as bad law, then.
Let me ask you right, so I've given...
You're going into big questions.
I've given you the answer. Right, I've given you the answer. and you've now regurgitated it, fine. You've come to terms with the fact that the police will support all laws.
Yeah, the laws.
Let me ask you a question.
No, just like you.
No.
All right, no,
you're the teacher, Tim, and I'm asking the question.
All right, but you.
Here's the next question. Who makes the laws of the land?
I'll answer your question if you don't give a silly analogy at the end of it, like you did the other night. Who makes? Said standing on the sidewalk.
Who makes the answer? Who makes the laws, Tim?
Well, members of Parliament.
Who are they, Tim?
The people who are elected by the general public.
But Tim, is it not a fact that the majority of members of Parliament were elected by less than half of the constituents in their constituency?
Yeah, but...
So the police are supporting laws that more than half the people in Britain didn't ask for.
Yeah, but the law of the land says in those constituents, if the majority of the people elect that person, it doesn't matter about as long as it's the majority...
Tim, that isn't the case, Tim.
In that
Tim,
part.
if you are going to teach any of the social studies, I feel you have some more learning
but
to
the questions you're asking me...
They're very simple questions.
Wouldn't be asked by young people.
No, but because you do not know the answers, it is evidence to me that you are not qualified enough to
you're
teach
discussing
anybody.
Now, the type of level you're discussing now would be for much older children.
Tim,
children...
You would answer the question. The first question I put to you, why do we have the police? And you would answer it to keep the law.
You're going completely away from
No, I'm going
religion.
back to where we started.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's not the same thing. You're talking about what the Jesuit priest said. You're talking about them.
Tim,
I don't really want
the first time I spoke to you, I thought you might be intelligent. The second time I talked to you, I was convinced that you were not intelligent. And now, Tim, I think you are a pompous buffoon. Good night. How do Terry?
Hello.
Yes.
I'd like to speak about Frank Bruno.
There's not much you can say about him. He's big, he's black, he's hard, and he's thick. What else do you want to know?
Well, why should he have a chance?
That's a question.
Yeah, well,
that's a question, Terry. When you can phrase it without it being a question, ring me back. Not tonight, because the phone-in's over for this evening, it being 1 minute to 2.
To celebrate the return of Harp Lager to the Scaresbrick Hotel on Lord Street, Southport, we're having a special Heartbeat Party Night this Wednesday. There'll be fun for everyone, together with giveaways and prizes, including tickets to see Depeche Mode in concert. You'll be able to meet Red Rose Radio's Allan Beswick too from 7:45, so make sure you're at the Scaresbrick Hotel on Lord Street, Southport this Wednesday.
And the crowds are really building up here at Jordan's. I'll just try and have a word. Excuse me, sir. You look as though you've come a long way to buy this new Vauxhall.
When I heard they were selling the new Vauxhalls, including the new Belmont at 0% finance, I fought off a gauntlet of car dealers just to get here. I mean, not even Dirty Harry down the road can beat this offer.
People come from far and near to buy a new car with 0% finance. From Jordan's, the new Vauxhall Centre, East Bank Street, Southport. Telephone Southport 33066 for directions.
The Vauxhall Car Centre, Southport 33066.
Sounds exactly right, that, doesn't it? Dirty Harry down the road. Dirty Harry's a great name for a second-hand car dealer. Anyway...